2, 1. Hello, we are live. Hello, and welcome to PropTechBuzz, a podcast channel for PropTech founders and CEOs, where we interview them and learn from them how they build and manage world-class PropTech companies. And today, I'm thrilled to have with me an interesting guest. Before I introduce him to you all, I would if you're watching this, and I've never done this before, but I'm asking this, if you're watching this, you are listening to this and interested in learning from stories from PropTech founders, hit that subscribe button, because the more people hit subscribe, the more reach these videos have. So please do that. With that, let's welcome Saurabh. Saurabh Arora is the founder and CEO of University Living, one of the largest student housing marketplaces in the world, and it has presence in over 93 countries, maybe more. Saurabh can correct it later. And over 10 million bookings already done so far. So that's massive numbers we're talking about. So with that, let's have Saurabh in the room. Hi, Saurabh. Welcome to PropTech Buzz. How are you doing today?
Hey Ravi, thanks for hosting me. And yes, doing good. Early Sunday morning, can't be better.
It's for the audience. It's 6 a.m. in London, in wintry London. So we can't be more thankful to Saurabh for this.
No, no, I mean, even you are at in Germany at 7 a.m. So if you can,
Yes.
for sure, and you already been dressed so well and dapper.
Yeah, it's snowing. It's snowing outside, and but it's also dark. So yes, we are both mornings, and yeah, it's my passion to talk to these stories, and I would do anything for having such deep, thoughtful conversations. So Saurav, before we get into the meatier stuff, why don't you? Very curious to know about your career trajectory. Okay, how did so what was your education like, and how did you get into entrepreneurship?
Sure. So, if you have noticed and observed my Twitter handle, which is Mr. Accidental CEO, right? So it's very accidental, right? But one thing was very clear and very sure that I want to do something on my own. I mean, I come from a tier two city from Meerut, and I got blessed to have a very good schooling from St. Mary's in Meerut, wherein most of, I mean, in fact, the real entrepreneurs or real business are in tier two, tier three, which are like businesses. I mean, we all seen our parents, family, cousins to be in building real businesses, right? When I say real businesses, like creating bottom line, talking about profits, not raising funds right in the day one on ideas. And with that background, I've seen my brother, I've seen my father, building it up. So from there, I moved to Delhi for my undergrad from Delhi University, and I did my economics honors. And during that time, I was very that time my aspiration were to get a job, because in my family, no one have worked ever. It was they were all like entrepreneur and they're all doing something or the other. So that time my aspiration, I need to get a job after my economics honors, right?
Yeah, you wanted to do something different and shed your family's maybe background, isn't it? You
No,
wanted to.
that's not to sound cliche and fancy. It was very simple aspiration that मेरे मेरी लाइफ ने मेरे बैकग्राउंड में मेरे फैमिली किसी ने जॉब नहीं करी, मुझे
got,
जॉब करनी है,
got it.
right? So
Something new.
that's how I got my first job at India Bulls into risk management.
Okay.
And from there I got into Infosys. Then I did my masters, got into I was a banker, got into Kotak Securities, then HDFC Bank. And when I was a banker, and I went on exchange program. That's how I faced this problem of not getting accommodation. And since 2011, it's been 12 years now, 13 years been doing this. So yeah, that's a simple, non-fancy story of any founder, which I want to
And
share.
let's dig deeper. So, at any given point of time, an entrepreneur, when he wants to step into entrepreneurship, he has multiple ideas in his mind. Okay, and then um, there's always something that. What is that one thing that you want to commit your next 10, 15 years? Okay, uh, and that is what stops a lot of people, because they do not know, they're not sure, because it's always the other business that sounds more fancy, if I'm picking the right one or not. So how did you pick student housing as a marketplace for your idea that you want to back and spend your next 10, 15 years?
I mean, like I mentioned, Mr. Excellence, the CEO, right?
Correct.
So while I was a banker, with Kotak, SDFC, first thing I realized, what I I am not enjoying and I should not be doing for next 10, 15 years. That was banking, with all due respect or to all the banker friends and everyone. So I realized, I mean, banking is not cut for me. At least the structure of banking,
Right.
wherein you end up selling insurance, whether you're a wealth manager, whether you are a PMS or whatever, right?
Right.
At least that one time, right? And then it's accidentally, because when I went Nottingham, I didn't get my accommodation. I got into this experience it, and that's where one of my cousin, who was running a education agency, he asked me to join him and to build up uni lodges, right?
Got
And from there, I got into this. To be honest, I have no idea that I will be sustaining for 10 years, 15 or 20 years. And
mm,
I personally believe, and that's my feel, that at that point in time, wherever you are, there's a reason for it. Just give
mm,
it all, right?
got it.
And that one thing led to another thing led to this. So
Got
so if I say that I was very clear, I knew that what I want to do,
mm,
not fancy stories. Even till date, I don't know what I will be doing next 5 years, but I know one thing, that what I'm doing, I'm enjoying to the thrill. It's not work for me, right?
got it.
I'm creating impact,
Got it.
and yeah, I mean, it's very learning and rewarding journey so far.
Got it. I completely get you. So you nobody can be sure at the first go. Okay, you have to take a chance and then you jump and then you test and then maybe you succeed or you do not succeed. But things have worked for you all this while. Why did you talk about you? You talked about uni lodges. So why didn't you talk before university living? It was uni lodges, and what was uni lodges into?
Yeah. So, Unilogis, is was one of the very first student housing platform, globally,
Mm,
back in 2011, 12, right? And formed Unilogis, then from 2011 till 2014, and I was there building it up, and then there were some internal conflicts between me and my cousin, and I decided to move out, and I started on my own. So that's about Unilogis. And one thing you mentioned, I believe only thing which I am still very, very clear. If anyone, if not me, anyone put in 10 years into any profession,
mm.
they will make it, or they will do good for themselves.
That's a very good one. I would like to expand upon that, okay? Because this is something because I've seen entrepreneurs who try it for 6 months or 8 months, then shift to a new business, and then something else. They don't stick beyond a year or year and a half. But you are saying something important. Could you please expand on that?
Right. See, again, I'm no one to preach anyone, or I don't know their situation, their life stage, and there are many, right? First,
Mm,
it's good to try. I mean, at least you don't have a regret. So it's always good to try, right?
mm,
But now also there's a bleed of people who are like, "चल करके देखते हैं, देखा
mm,
जाएगा." That's
mm,
also not right.
mm.
And also it depend upon if someone is at 19, 20, 21 versus someone at 30, 35, 40, because then you have different liabilities, you have different stage of career, mindset, body, support, doesn't support. So I am that kind of entrepreneur. Probably I will always suggest my people that if you want to do entrepreneurship, or you want to start something, join someone, try, if you are lucky, try to join someone who have very established career growth. You can learn a lot.
Got
At the same time, work in a company which is early stage. You're getting a chance to do work with management, with founders,
right,
because then you learn a lot. I didn't get that chance. I was not that time, I didn't have that wisdom.
right,
But if someone asks me, if you want to start again 10 years back, you
right.
know I'll focus more on skills. I focus more on my networking. I focus more on going deeper in any idea or any industry which I believe will be a future, or I enjoy that work.
Mm, got it. And you are saying that you have to stick to it for long.
It's depend upon person. I mean, there are lots of thesis. There are thesis wherein start early, fail fast, keep trying, keep exploring,
Mm,
right? And then, see, I am somewhere in between. I'm not very traditional and not very aggressive.
mm,
I believe I believe I am not in hurry. And
mm,
I guess that's my strength as a
mm,
company also. And we are not in hurry to disrupt something in 2 years. At
mm,
time, I mean, student housing
mm,
till 18, 19, we were still struggling to tell about their accommodation beyond university halls. You need to start early,
mm,
and it's very different, right? uh, any idea? Whatever, I mean, let's say I was meeting somewhere a couple of days back. I was sitting with someone who started this online education fairs and events and all.
mm,
So he was saying that 2016 they were ready with the platform, but
mm.
boom happened in 2020.
That's correct. Yes.
Right? And like in markets, in stock market, no one can time it, or one should not time it. Similarly,
Mm,
you don't know when the time of your idea has come, right? And
mm,
these things, you need to be. If you're reading, you are meeting, you are traveling, you get some patterns. If you are
mm,
fortunate, lucky, luck plays its part, right?
mm,
And then
mm,
what stage of life, career you are at.
mm.
So there are a lot of mix of many things. So if I
Yeah.
say I knew it, I was a visionary.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to, sound pseudo here.
I completely get that. So, but you made an important point, right? You said that any business, no matter any business you pick, you stay long enough, you can crack it. Okay,
To-
because
Totally believe. Totally believe.
then you have enough runway to try, to experiment, to fail, maybe pivot a bit. Okay, but if you commit yourself to a field, to an industry, then eventually there is no way but you can outwork and outlast your competitors.
See, I'm still not vouching, that one should have, this is the only path. Right?
Hmm.
But I'm saying that if you're spending 10 years in any
Hmm.
industry, any professional, anywhere, you
Hmm.
will understand the nuances,
Got it.
right? I mean, you will understand like an insider.
Hmm.
And then you also, if you are let's say you are doing podcast for 10 years, right?
Hmm.
All the other podcasts, people who are really doing well or people who are new, they will be knowing Ravi. And,
Hmm.
by virtue of that, you will get lots of opportunities and,
Leverage.
it's a
Yeah.
great network,
Got it.
right? So, yeah.
Got it. Cool. Then let's talk about university living. Like, what were the early days like? Did you know exactly how it will look like when you wanted to solve the student housing space? Did you know that you wanted to create a marketplace? Maybe the early days. Did you have to pivot? And just let us know about your early days.
Right. I guess we are still early, right? We are still 200 plus team, right? The market we are going after is huge. It's very unregulated, unfragmented, right? Lots of disruption. It still needs to be done. Lots of technology and new age uh, tech, like lots of AI and ML needs to be still need to be implemented,
Hmm.
right? So very early stage as an industry, right? As a company, we are doing okay, but still I believe it's day one, right? Because every year is different, right? Every we have seen pandemic, we have seen rebound. Every phase got a different challenges and opportunities, right? So very early age, but if I say that I knew how I need to, I'm building it up again. I didn't have the crystal ball. Still, I don't have a crystal ball.
Hmm.
So what we do, we go 1 year at a time. We know
In
that
which, which year
in
did
next,
you start?
it was starting 2015 Jan.
So maybe what
Yeah,
was your state of mind in 2015, Jan, before we come to the current numbers? Okay,
yeah,
what exactly did you have a certain location in mind? Did you have an idea that was crystallized, or did you test a few ideas or a hypothesis and validated it?
sure.
How did it begin?
So January 2015, one man show, one man army.
Hmm.
Moved out for my partially successful startup, empty-handed. Got married because I got married in 2014, thinking now, okay, we are doing okay.
Okay.
Started in January 2015, empty-handed, married, staying in a Lajpat Nagar. I won't say chal and all. It was a good house, but second floor, no lifts and whatever, whatever. Right? Very, very lots of self doubts. Didn't know what to do, how to go about it.
Hmm.
Blessed to have lots of friends. Very, very blessed to have a very supportive life partner. Parents who always support and who never question your doubt, your decision. They're like, whatever you need to do, we'll back it up. No, don't worry. But शादी के बाद एक ना बड़ा there's a very phase wherein you're on your own. You yourself don't go to your parents to ask money or whatever. It's very different, right?
Just changes. Just
Right?
changes before marriage, after marriage in India is completely different dynamic, because
You're
then
on
there
your
is
own.
self-respect. There is
Yeah.
self-respect. You cannot ask your parents anything anymore after getting married. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Right. But lots of friends keep brainstorming with them. There was a friend, Aman, who wanted to do something. He joined me after
Mm,
a partially failed, relationship with my cousin, for a startup. It was, I guess, again, when you get betrayed or it doesn't work, it's very tough for you to believe anyone else. So, but again, I believe. Every piece people are different. You should not, you should believe in the goodness of people. They're
Mm.
all other people. And then if it didn't work with someone, it doesn't mean that that person is bad. It's just that it didn't work out. We
Got
were immature or we were learning. So January 2015, we started with Australia. Because just we were doing UK and all. So I didn't want to compete and all. Like, let's start with Australia. New train, didn't know anything, building it up. So
No,
from
so what was
January,
the business model? So help us understand the business model. What was it that you were trying to do in Australia?
right. See, when I was building Unilogers, I realized I was very clear that I didn't want to build listing platform. There are lots
Mm.
of discovery and listing platform,
Right.
right? At least in that point in time, there were many.
Right.
Still, there are many, but the models keep changing. So I didn't want to build listing platform. I didn't want to have a platform which is one the student go discover and that's it. I was very
Mm.
clear we were building a most efficient and effective platform wherein whosoever come, they should be accommodated.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because there are lots of platforms, especially in a student housing space, wherein they were subscription model, they were trying to monetize traffic. There were people who are going, seeing that there's a property, but what next,
Mm.
right? Then there were models wherein they were trying to match make, and there were lots of fanciness at that point in time, right?
Mm.
Because it was new domain, people were getting funded on ideas and models. But
Mm.
being a non-tech founder at that point in time, I was one very clear that it's a need-based product,
Right.
right? You need to, if a student is coming to you, if you're not getting accommodated,
Mm.
you will not sustain,
Mm.
right? So that's
So
the
if,
model we started with.
so if it was not a listing service, how did you give information of
Yeah,
all the hostels, and
yeah.
how did you make money?
Yeah. So prima facie it was listing, but it was a marketplace, and now we are a managed marketplace. So that's the evolution, right? So
Okay.
listing is like you're going discovery, right?
Right.
You don't know. I mean, the platform doesn't commit whether that room is available, inventory is live, whether they have the APIs. Uh,
Ah,
uh,
I
you can go and have a discovery, right?
see.
You can put an inquiry and then don't know whether you will hear back or not.
Got it. Got it.
From listing, we started with marketplace, where it was all the properties were curated, available, handpicked. We started with student housing PBSA, purpose built student accommodation, right?
Mm. Okay.
And then last 3 years we have, now we are a managed marketplace where it is a mixed model. There are property which we have hard norms. There are property which are, we have exclusivity to as a global marketing partner for those providers. And then now we do PBSA student housing, we do HMOs like private apartments. We are launching a uni halls on our website. So now, uh, any student anywhere, if they're going and looking for accommodation, we have more categories for them, right? They can discover, they can compare, they can book. And
Mm.
that's where, in fact, that when they book, then that's where their main journey starts with us. Most of the platform were like, okay, booking, okay, they were booking platforms,
Mm.
right? We have
Mm.
fulfilled platform. Like, once they get their accommodation done, they have a account manager, which is efficiently, automatically, managing them, and they are, just on a click of WhatsApp or call or chat, they are throughout the journey, right? And then with launching of value-added services like airport, air tickets, airport transfers, guarantor service, like you are in Germany, right?
Mm.
You need a block account. You need to have a local guarantor to rent it. I mean, I know which part of Germany you are in. Berlin,
In Munich.
Munich. So we know the vacancy rates, right? It's one, two, or what's the vacancy rate in Munich?
What do you mean by vacancy rate?
Uh, if there are 100 landlords or
Mm-hmm.
100 rooms, how many rooms are getting available for the
Mm.
tenancy? So, agar it's 2% vacancy, that means only two flats out of 100 it's coming on the market to be rented.
Oh wow. No, I'm not aware of this number.
Yeah. So I keep saying global warming and housing crisis for real, right?
And
uh,
it'll remain for some time, isn't it?
for sure.
Okay.
And it's not getting better for at least 3 5 years, because it's very structural change, right?
Mm.
Then, and it's not only a UK phenomena or a Germany phenomena. Even in Australia, even in Ireland,
Mm.
even in Europe, Canada, US is a different market, but US also, if you get into sub pockets, New York again, California, your California or SFO again,
Mm.
within. within that. So uh, as I'm saying, real real problem,
mm,
right? Still very unfragmented, unregulated.
mm,
And now as a company, we expanded horizontally. So we are around in 300 plus cities across
mm,
all student popular countries, whether it's UK, Ireland, Canada, US, Europe. Europe, we are in Germany, we are in Spain, we are in Lisbon, or Portugal, I would say, then France, Italy. The most of the student popular cities and countries are covered. And
mm.
now we are going deeper in all the countries where we have captured the PBSA market. Like in UK, we are going deeper into private markets, HMOs and
So,
you know
so why don't you explain, because we are here to understand the student housing market a bit. Why don't you explain what is PBSA versus what is private, and help us understand what are these terms.
yeah. So Ravi, this is 350 billion market, right?
350
350 billion market
350 billion only for student housing.
for student housing globally, right? And I tell you how how we have come on this number. There are 35 million students one point in time who's looking for accommodation
35
across.
million students at any given point of time looking for accommodation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of that, 6 to 8 million students are international students. Let's say from India, there are 1 million. In UK there are 600K, and overall is 2.7 million domestic and international students looking for accommodation.
Mm,
In US there are 20 million students. Out of that, 1.1 is the international students.
mm,
Right. So one point time, 35 million. Out of that, 6 to 8 million is international students. Out of that, 1 to 1.5 million is Indian going abroad. And then the local market we have presence, like in UK, in US, in Canada, so that their domestic market, right?
mm.
So that's how 35 million into average tenancy is 10,000 USD dollar. So it comes to around 350 billion. That's a overall universe market for us. Within that, we go after international students and local domestic wherever we have presence,
So
right?
average tenancy in a year, or in
In
a
a year.
year. Okay.
Yeah. So imagine, you are in Europe, 200 euro, $200 a week,
Okay.
into 50 weeks is 10,000 USD dollar,
Hmm.
you know.
Oh,
So that's the universe we're into,
got it.
right? And then, another few facts. Only 1 out of 6 international students get accommodated by university. Five
Mm,
five need to fend for themselves.
mm,
Right. Then within that also, if you're undergrad, you can apply. You might get guarantee accommodation, you might not. That
mm,
guarantee accommodation might be close to or away. That
right.
might be shared washroom or non-shared washroom.
Mm,
Right. Then there are returning students in the second, third year. They need to move out of the university and look for themselves. Then
mm,
there are postgrad students who are looking for accommodation, because they are mature students, so university generally don't commit,
mm,
right? And
mm,
not every student want to be on campus, and
mm.
not every university can accommodate all the students.
Got it.
Yeah. so,
Mm,
so that's the problem we are going after,
mm,
right?
mm,
Then this is the market we are going after,
mm,
right? Or within this, not that we are the only one. There are few global platforms. There were few global platforms, right?
mm,
uh, because we are very frugal, because
mm,
we want to be effective rather than number one, number two, top line.
mm, mm.
We're not going
So
after.
whatever little business you want to do, you want to do it perfectly well, solving deeply, isn't it?
Yeah, that little business is quite a big business,
Whatever
right?
business.
But yes, effectiveness and efficiencies are our core DNA,
Okay.
right? And by leveraging technology and right people and team,
Right.
is what we are trying to solve.
Right.
And so then there are different accommodation options, right? So
Right.
one prima facie is university halls, right?
Okay.
Your dorms, halls, pads, whatever which country you are, it's known as pads in in Australia, uni halls in UK, dorms in US, right? Then you have this category which we started after, which is called PBSA, purpose built student accommodation,
Mhm.
right? For the audience of India, it's like Stanza and Your Space, what they
Mhm.
have been trying to do there.
Mm,
Uh, for the audience of Europe, it's Unite and Grey Star of the World,
mm,
who are into post, PBS and student living, student housing
mm,
as a vertical. Then you have, if you are in Australia, then there is Scape and Unilodge and all, and we are
mm,
Indian office or global marketing partner for most of them,
mm,
right? And then after PBSA, there is university, there's private apartments like HMO, in UK, house
mm,
for multiple occupancy, right?
mm,
Then they are expensive PRS, property
mm,
residence service, So let's say they are students who are mature students, and now
mm,
they have stayed on university halls. Now they have stayed in PBSA. They want to have in a two three friend want to have in apartments,
mm,
right? So we go after all the categories now. Students are our core, and also young professionals. Also, we started catering, which
got it,
is students who are now looking for job or got a job, settling
mm,
down in that city or a country.
got it.
So this is the market. This is the jargons. This is our DNA,
Got
and
it.
this is how we are, trying to solve this.
Got it. So could you also elaborate on managed marketplace, because you seem to be like an operator already, no? Because you are not just connecting people, but you are also giving value added service, which an operator, a student operator or a co-living operator is doing. Could you help us understand the difference between what you offer and what an operator offers, and what does managed marketplace mean in a little more detail?
Yeah. See, managed marketplace because we need to improve the end experience of students
Hmm.
and also our accommodation partners.
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
Absolutely, you got it right. We are already operator, and
Hmm.
we are a very niche initial stage operator, and we are also very right now we are very asset light, operator model which we're running.
Right.
In fact, we were nominated, in one of these property week student housing conference in December as
Hmm.
one of the nominations for international operator against all the bigger housing partners we work with, like of
Hmm.
Unites,
Hmm.
Greystar, Chapters, and CRM. So that's a moment of pride. I still when I'm talking, there's a goosebumps because it's. I mean, we are still very new in this market. Like
Hmm.
these people are 25, 30 years, and like United is a fifth C listed company, right? So even to get nominated against them, I mean, as a team, we are a winner,
Hmm.
right? So that's one. Then yes, so from a student coming on a platform, exploring option, then they are comparing, then they are booking. After that, we help them with their documentation, payments, remittances, right? Help them with their local guarantor services. Then we help them with their air tickets, airport transfer.
So you have local support in all these cities.
Again, so that's where the technology comes in. That's where
Uh-huh.
that 10, 12 years of experience and understanding of market comes in.
Mhm.
We have people in on the ground.
Mm,
We are we are a technique. We have managed to get lots of things done through technology integration, through APIs and collaborations. And
mm,
then again, because we are dealing with students, one thing we are very obsessed with student
mm,
experience,
mm,
right? We are still 4.8 on Trustpilot on 5.
nice.
Yeah. So
Mm,
and that is one holy grail we go after.
mm.
That
So, so
okay,
when, so when you
yeah,
say we take help of technology, that means you take help on technology to scale it at the local level with your partners. Am I right? So
yes,
you don't have to coordinate manually,
yes,
but you integrate it within your local partners,
yeah.
and okay, there is seamlessness of information.
Right. There's still lots to be done. I guess as a company, as a country, as a new industry, we are at the inflection point,
Mm,
right? We have been doing for 10 years, so we have known the nuances, right?
right.
We have seen few companies failing. We come with some companies doing good. So getting best of the both the world and trying to ensure what not to do, very important, rather than
Mm,
what to do, and then doing what is working for us and
mm,
keep pivoting and trying, which we believe, like launching a university halls on our website in a
mm,
prima facie. It's like adding a cannibalizing feature, right? If
mm,
students get a university hall, why will they book PBSA or HMOs through us, right? But then there are so many students who want to apply university hall, and
mm,
we recommend that you apply to university hall. We also know only 1 out of 6 or like very less people will get uni halls, but then moment we are launching this, the student can at least get into accommodation mode early, and we are more than happy if a student get university hall what they were looking, right? But they need to keep a fallback option. Otherwise, student need to wait till the end, and then the
Mm,
price keep changing. You don't know whether you get it or not, and then at the last minute, last 2 months, you don't know where the address is, where I'm going, where I'm staying. So there are lots of nuances.
got
So
it.
whatever feature we are launching, it's totally and totally needed one rather than fancy ones,
Mm,
right? Well, me, my co-founder Mayank also studied in Northampton. I faced the housing thing, so we're very
mm,
clear that what are the nuances which student look for,
mm,
right? And what we need to disrupt as an industry, pushing our accommodation partners to share APIs and get the live feed, live inventory, live prices. So it's like what OTA, what hotel OTA market was 10 years back. We are at
mm.
that.
Nice, nice. So when you say you moved to a new city, you added a new city. What are some of the things that you need to do to be ready for a city? Like, do you go and research? Okay, how many hostel providers are there? Bring them to the data. First of all, you have to talk to them. They have to agree, or is this something that you can scrape public data and get it to your database or something of that sort?
Because this is not a subscription model, because we are not building a listing platform.
Right.
If you're building a listing platform, you can scrape, and
Yes.
I mean, this is what been happening. That was the easy thing.
Right.
You can scrape it and put in our information.
Yeah, yeah. You are doing something really hard. You are actually, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, uh, 200 plus team, 10 years in the industry. I'm the road.
You are the
I'm on the road,
you are on the roll. Yes. Yeah.
right? Because it's a supply constrained market,
Mm.
right? You can list it, but then if a student is booking and you have not verified or coordinated, then
It's
the
not helpful.
experience will be broken.
Zero value. Yeah.
Yeah. So as a company also, we believe do the right thing over easy thing.
Mm.
It might take some time, but it will be sustained.
Mm.
Yeah. So curated, verified, any, if you want to launch any city, right? Uh, you know, we get 6 million website visit every year. So we know that, what cities we are getting, where we are not able to cater, basis.
Okay, so somebody is searching for a city, and if you are not in that city, then that's a good
That's the
validation.
one. Yes, that's a one. We have one factor parameter.
Mm.
Then we have our internal research team, and we've been in the industry for 10-12 years. We have our network connect, so we know that, okay, you know, let's say in Ireland, Limerick is one city which is not fancy. Most of people have not known the name and all, but they are
Mm.
still going there. There is a housing imbalance between demand and supply.
Right.
Either there is structurally there is no accommodation, or there is accommodation, but people are not aware of those accommodation. So
Right.
for accommodation partners, let's say our accommodation partner launch a new property or a
Right.
new site, they need visibility. They need that initial buzz, and so we do their marketing campaigns,
Right.
right? Then we try to balance in demand versus supply,
Right.
right? Then there are different stakeholders, which are universities, education partners, institutions,
Mm.
so as a platform, how we bring all these stakeholders together and
Mm.
try to ensure that where there's no demand, we create demand. When there's the supply, we ensure the demand matches supply.
Got it.
And end goal, how we streamline the process.
Streamline the process exactly because so many vendors, so many suppliers. Uh, but how do you guarantee the on the field experience? Because you're still remote, right? Of course, you can get all these players together, but end user experience is because you're not a local partner. You are a platform. How do you guarantee that?
Yeah. Whenever someone asks me this, I don't have the perfect answer,
Hmm.
right? But we do have some validation, like 4.8 on Trustpilot, so many Google reviews. We have a very strong referral business, which is double digit. So I believe system is working,
Hmm.
right? But then also, we have a strong, post support system, which is automated, process driven. Parameters are defined. Technology with human touch. We have 24/7, 365 days, multilingual, support system, right?
So tech support. So you mean
Tech,
if
as well as if, let's say, you want to put a ticket, let's say you go to Airbnb, it's an
yeah,
amazing platform. But if
yes,
if someone asks me where they're missing, you ca- I'm outside my apartment and I'm not getting my key.
right,
I might not be having connection in a new city. and
Right.
I'm messaging. I don't know whether the message I will revert back or not, and
Right.
that's where the check-in experience breaks up.
Mm.
In Airbnb.
Right.
Uh, I understand if you have lots of people, then it's not scalable, at
Yes.
least not incremental. So that's a
Yes.
that's a challenge we have created. As a company, also we believe in the market, in the industry we are, technology without human touch might not be that effective,
Okay.
right?
So it's a hybrid model. So you
It's a
there is a
hybrid model.
okay.
It's a
Okay.
hybrid model. At the same time, these are trained people, and we keep automating it. We keep automating it because the industry we are now disrupting its private apartments, HMOs.
Mm.
Not many have tried to attempt that, even the biggest
Mm.
one.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
uh, I I mean, I don't know if our audience understand Hindi, but रहना and खाना is
हाँ,
सबको करना है, but
सबको करना है।
हाथ गंदे करने पड़ते हैं। और
हाँ,
if you do 10 on 10 great, it's a thanks for job. एक केस फटता है,
हाँ।
in this hyper connected world,
Your
you know
reputation is gone.
so we don't say that we are 10 on 10,
Hmm.
right? But then
Yeah.
we are there. We
Hmm.
don't get vanished, right? We have a
Hmm.
support system, customer support system. Even till date, I'm on the way, and my number is presence everywhere. So I know that मेरे पास नंबर मैसेज आता है, तुम्हें पता है
Hmm.
केस फटा है, right? and
हाँ.
and and that's very important for me. But this is, you know we've been doing 10 million nights
Yeah,
in
yeah.
total.
So it's fascinating because you're solving such a hard problem. So help me understand. So do you create a dedicated team for every city then? Because you have a support team for every city then. So you know what the business model is. Okay, you expect this much revenue, so you invest this much as a cost support for every hostel. If so, you are saying that at the level of somebody has lost his key, they can go to your support and you can solve it. Do
we
you?
we always Yeah, we
Am I
always
right?
we always try.
Uh-huh.
At time we also become bit less effective. We
Hmm.
don't shy away,
Yeah, yeah.
because it see, I can talk about technology and all. you
Hmm.
know we are very clear it's a service industry,
Hmm.
but we have productized this.
Yes, yes, yes. That is the most fascinating, and to this level, to this scale. Help me understand if there is an operator who is already solving this locally. Okay, do you complement with him, or there are also overlaps?
See, as a company, as an entrepreneur, I believe in collaboration, right? I
Hmm.
firmly believe in, when you collaborate, you enhance the value.
Right.
When you compete, you dilute the value,
Got it. Hmm.
right? So,
Right.
if there are companies who are doing some reason, we collaborate,
Hmm.
because they also get a bigger audience and bigger visibility on our
Hmm.
platform,
Right.
right? And probably might be a different nationality or different region which they might not be reaching out, or they don't have the bandwidth or capacity or understanding, and
Hmm.
likewise.
Right.
Yeah,
Got it.
but again, it's just not a simple, integrations and, UTM, and just just retargeting. you know
Hmm.
Everything is curated, everything is verified. Even if things go haywire, अगर हमें मैन्युअली भी करना पड़े, हमें रात को फोन उठाना पड़ रहा है, करना पड़ रहा है, ईमेल्स करनी पड़ रही है, वी
Hmm.
डू इट।
And it only gets better over time with experience. You optimize it, okay, and as you said, you productize it, and that product gets better with time. Excellent. Is this something other players are also doing, or this is something that managed marketplace, is this other platforms are also doing this?
No, absolutely. See, this is not something. I mean, I believe it's a big enough market, and there will be always some regional leaders. Like our strong market, India subcontinent as an audience has strong market,
Right.
but 70% of our business is outside India, non-Indian student
Mm.
booking through our platform. That's the biggest, that's where, we believe that it's a global platform. That's where
Got
it started moving out of India, and, adding more destination, going after more sourcing market,
it.
right?
Right.
There are some platform who are trying to attempt this. That's why I keep saying we want to be more effective and efficient.
Got it. How? So, what's the business model like? How are you making money? Who is paying you? Is this hostels or is this the students? Where do you make money?
Again, we have a credit hybrid wherein, if anything on our website, which are partner options, accommodation, generally we get paid from accommodation partners in
Mm.
terms of annually, marketing solution budgets and all,
Right.
right? I don't want to create a model of per commission, because the moment you get in per commission, then my team, including me, will start pushing something where we get higher, which is not right for the
Mm. Okay, got it. Okay,
right.
if not commission, then what?
It's marketing budgets. We give them technology, we help them with marketing solution campaigns, new market, outreach, and then of course, everything back up with how many bookings numbers we are doing for them. It works. Otherwise, if I say that I'll do everything, but आपका हाउसिंग नहीं भरवा पाऊंगा, एकोमोडेशन नहीं बुक करा पाऊंगा, या ऑक्यूपेंसी नहीं बढ़ेगा, या कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन नहीं गिरेगा, देन इट्स ऑल ज्ञान, राइट? सो
Okay.
numbers, but numbers not basis just booking करनी है, right? Numbers
Hmm.
basis outreach, branding, technology support, customer support, and then that percolate to numbers. And that's so one is model wherein we get paid from economic partners, right?
Hmm.
And then there are lots of students who are looking for very cheap option or very expensive option, right?
Hmm.
Then we have launched a concierge service. Let's say
Hmm.
you're going to any city country, wherein let's say someone is going to Bristol or
Hmm.
Glasgow, already
Hmm.
sold out for September 23.
Hmm.
We're going to Berlin,
Hmm.
already struggling, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So then, because we have bandwidth, we have know-how, we have connects and all. So
Hmm.
there's a concierge service wherein student pay,
Hmm.
and we everything automated, everything is written, documented. So
Right.
they pay their service fee, they sign a contract, we sign a contract with all the terms and condition. If anything go haywire, if we couldn't able to accommodate them, we refund the money full,
Hmm.
right? Because idea is not to earn money without creating value.
Of course, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got.
And then, again, then there's we have taken hard nominations. We are marketing, global marketing partners for these partner providers and all. So it's a
Hmm.
mix of getting paid from economic partners, getting paid from students. Generally
Right.
we don't have students, but if someone is going, let's say there is a family going, who with a kid, they can't stay on uni halls, they can't stay on PBSs, they need to have their apartments. And we with our network connects, with our 24 by 7 365 days, curated options,
Hmm.
people don't mind paying, and especially when we commit them that if we don't able to accommodate, we'll refund the money. It's a
Hmm.
win situation for all.
Hmm. Nice. You said marketing solutions. Where do you market them? On your website, or do you have other channels to market them?
So we have created a community. We have 150,000 students on our community, on our social medias, on our community on our website. Then initially we have lots of social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram groups, which we have created.
So one community for global, or there are
Yeah,
country-based
yeah.
community. Okay.
So
Mhm.
globally, and
Mm.
then it bifurcated country city wise.
Okay. Wow.
As a company, we believe in creating a soft power and hard power,
Mm.
right? And like soft power for us is community,
Mm.
content growth,
Right.
right? These knowledge sessions, these education sessions which we keep doing,
Right.
you know because we make money by helping student book or accommodate. Then
Mm.
with the value added services, it's enhanced the overall experience,
Right.
right? And we also launch a SaaS product for our accommodation partners, property management solution, because
Mm.
and we won a class foundation award for that and few other awards for SaaS product.
Mm.
Best thing, it's a beta version, so we
Right.
launched, we got a market, a product fit, and now
Right.
we will be scaling that up. And then eventually, taking buildings and managing operating is the hard power.
Right.
So as a group, we are creating a 360 full stack housing platform,
Right.
right? And getting all the stakeholders within the ecosystem, whether it's universities, whether accommodation partners, whether our education partners,
Right.
whether our students, parents, then our value-added service players, air tickets and current service and all, keeping very very clear understanding of enhancing student experience post admission, right? To ensure that there are lots of people who are doing till admission, because that's where the meat is. They get really paid well, right?
Mm.
But someone needs to get their hands dirty, right? Someone need to help student from admission till check in and thereafter.
mm,
Now we are helping them with their jobs, internships. If you go on a website, now we are helping them with their local registration of BRPs and NIAs, and registering with GPs.
mm.
So yeah,
So I think a good thing about scalability is how many hostels you're talking about today?
we have more than 25,000 properties.
25,000 properties. So that means, I mean, it's a gold mine for either offering hostel management applications, okay, which you are doing, which you said you can add a lot of services on top, no, or lots of ideas. So it's and these 25,000 properties, I think the important thing is to build good reputation and good rapport, because they trust you then. And if you have been in the industry for long, then you can always offer them key services on top. Anything that is upcoming, like, do you have it in your near future? Anything that you really see that is the big gap that you want to fill?
So uni halls on a website, it's a very thought after feature, because on the face value as a platform, it might cannibalize our main product, right?
Help
But
me understand. Help me understand. I don't understand the cannibalizing the main product. What does uni halls on the platform mean?
see, the moment we get university halls, so if you go on a website, there
Yeah.
is student housing and there is private apartments,
Okay.
right? And now we'll add university halls. So let's say they are undergrad students, who
University halls means hostels provided by university.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
right. So, we've been thinking whether to add or not to add, and it's a risky proposition. But
Why?
see, if someone student, let's say a student comes and they want to have a university hall, because
Yes.
as a mindset, for parents and any international student, like मुझे हॉस्टल मिल जाएगा यूनिवर्सिटी का, तो वो सबसे सेफ है, पास है, सस्ता है,
Okay.
right? But as I'm saying, there's a dearth of, like if there are 50,000 students going to UCL,
Mm-hmm.
they have probably 24,000 beds,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, not, as I'm saying, not every university able to accommodate all, and
Mm-hmm.
also not every student want to stay on uni halls. But the
Yes.
prima facie, student believe that, if we get university hall, it will be cheaper, safer, and closer to campus, which
Okay.
is not the case. Generally, not the case,
Uh-huh. Okay. Mm-hmm.
right? And then I'm saying, like, and due to which many people wait, वो apply करते हैं uni halls और wait करते हैं April तक, visa August तक, once
Uh-huh.
they get. And as a company, I don't mind losing business, but if we are able to mm, convey this message
Mm-hmm.
that you need to start early,
Mm-hmm.
don't wait till visa,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's convenient and financially also viable.
Got
I'll give you an example. If you book an accommodation in April
it. Mm-hmm.
by paying your deposit of 250, 500 pounds or euro, or whatever, in Australia, probably 4 weeks of rent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus you got an offer, you got admission, and you now apply for university hall, and waiting for them to get back,
Mm-hmm.
right? Might get it, you might not get it. I have
Mm-hmm.
already the number, only 1 out of 6 students get accommodated by university.
Right.
If we don't get accommodated by university halls, you will get to know for UK, let's say, by June, July,
Okay.
right? By then, the prices have already increased by 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds a week.
Where
To
in the university hostels as well?
uh, outside the halls,
Outside.
on a PBS, off campus.
Ah, got it.
So,
Mm-hmm.
generally, university halls dynamic pricing नहीं करता,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? But अगर वो नहीं मिला, then
Mm-hmm.
you need to look out.
Got it.
That means you are paying 20 pounds into 50 weeks, £1,000 extra
Extra. Mm-hmm.
for something which we might not like it.
Mm-hmm.
That will be your first option, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and versus apply uni halls,
Mm-hmm.
keep a second best option,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you get uni halls, very good. If and you book your, we have alternative accommodation,
Right.
right? And in that case, mostly if you want to cancel,
Mm-hmm.
there's a cooling off period. There's
Right.
a date. If you cancel before that, even
Right.
your booking deposit get refunded.
Got
If
it.
in the worst scenario, if your booking deposit not been refunded, which is 200, 250, £500, right?
Right.
Versus high risk, high probability of paying
In
4x, 4x, 2,000, 25,000, 2,500 extra
got it.
for a room,
Right.
which might not be your first choice, or
Mm.
smaller, or not the house,
Okay, 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 okay.
on the room,
Got it.
right? So it's like when you book your air tickets, you can
Mm.
book on the last day,
Got it.
right?
Yeah,
आप
yeah.
book, I know आप tickets book करते हो, flexibility
Mm.
लेते हो,
Right,
you know if you're paying 3-4 thousand extra, but you know that you will save 50-60 thousand extra at the last minute hassle,
right,
उस वाले route पे time पे मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा,
right.
right? This is what we have done and we've been doing for student housing per se.
Got it. So this is your next introduction of a feature, right?
We already
Uh,
launched it. It will be up and running in the first week of Jan, or probably mid Feb.
Okay, cool, excellent. Let's run through some of the statistics from your existing business, some stats, figures, operations, maybe revenues also, and then maybe we could also you could shed some light on how your growth trajectory has been, because in many businesses sometimes nothing happens for 4 years and then suddenly there is a hockey stick growth. I'm also very curious to know how did that
Yeah.
how has your growth trajectory been. But let's start with your current stats and figures.
Yeah. So, this year we did around more than 5 million nights,
Mm,
which are approximately 15-16 thousand students,
okay.
who have booked on us.
Mm,
We have catered more than 150,000 students, because not every student who come to us get book accommodation through us. They might got uni halls, they might
got
have got private apartments, but they might need a private airport transfer, or air tickets, or guarantor service, or
it.
bedding, kitchen bag, student essentials, right?
Right. Mm,
So this is current, which is more than 5 million, 15-16 thousand students. We by March we will should be closing by 18,000. Overall, 100 to 120,000 students we cater in a year, versus last year, wherein we crossed 3 million nights,
mm.
right? Which is
But
around
your revenues is not based on your unit economics is not based on beds and nights, no? Because you said that that is
uh,
not your.
in a way, yes, it is. See, everything curated, right?
Mm,
So, if a student book on a platform, they are like, and on an average, there is 40 weeks
mm,
tenancy, which is
mm.
280 nights,
Right.
right?
Mm,
Into, let's say, we have last year we have done more than 10,000 students, which is like around 2.83 million nights,
got it. Mhm.
right? And on this, we get paid on accommodation partners.
Okay, okay, okay. That's how it is. Okay, so it's actually tied to that unit economics.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And being into startup, being into 10 years, now I have also learned few jargons, which sound fancy. And if you're talking about booking value,
Yes.
because if I talk about that, it runs into millions. Last year we did 3 million, 300 million.
Mm,
Yeah, this year we are going after, like, in the next fiscal, we're going after more than a billion gross booking value,
wow.
right? But again, yeah, it says, wow, it's fancy. I mean, it's very important,
Mhm.
and as a company, we don't want to get into, I mean, we are running a startup, but
Yeah.
startup doesn't mean you need to give numbers which sounds wow, right?
Mm,
For
mm,
us, startup means you need to be lean.
mm.
There should be a culture where you can learn, grow, and I call it, we are university living, right? I call it, we are, for internal team, we are university of living. you
What does
know
it mean?
this means you need, if you are here, learn. If you learn, एमबीए क्यों करना है, 15 लाख 20 लाख क्यों खर्च करने हैं, 50 लाख क्यों खर्च करने हैं?
Right.
मुझे ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए, because that's anti, because if people will not go abroad,
You're catering to that business.
yeah, but I did my undergrad, I worked for 2-3 years, I did
Mm,
my masters.
mm,
I was so happy because I know where I'm lacking,
mm,
right? I know मेरे shortfalls कहाँ कहाँ पे है, and that
mm,
MBA school have really fixed many things,
mm,
right? Versus to its own, again, I'm no one to preach anyone, versus undergrad, MBA कर लिया, MBA में 3 साल काम किया, उसके बाद पता किया कि यार ये तो समझ नहीं आ रहा करना क्या है।
mm,
मोस्टली ऐसा होता है, और इंडिया में खासकर ऐसा होता है,
mm,
राइट? सो आई टेल एवरीवन, इफ यू वांट टू लर्न, स्टार्ट अर्ली, एक बड़ी कंपनी के साथ काम करो, नाम ठप्पा लगा लो, इन्फोसिस, व्हाटएवर व्हाटएवर,
mm,
राइट? देन वर्क इन अ अर्ली स्टेज स्टार्टअप,
mm.
try to get in around management and founders, you learn so much
Mm.
real things,
Right.
right? क्योंकि कोई ना कोई फेल हुआ हुआ है, कोई ना कोई एक्सपीरियंस हुआ हुआ है, right?
Right.
And then whatever you want to start, I mean, and not everyone is cut for being entrepreneur. I mean,
Right.
एक फैंसी है, सबको स्टार्ट करना है.
Right.
I mean, you don't need to be entrepreneur to create good value and wealth. You can be a part of a startup or a growth company, because end of the day, every trade off. Entrepreneur 6 बजे लंदन में इंटरव्यू दे रहा है, versus 11:30 Sunday, someone must be having chole bhature in India.
Mm. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so you need to pick your battle and don't get fancy with all these shark tanks and be on. I mean, it's not everyone cup of tea to be entrepreneur.
No, I get that. Yeah. So you mentioned lean for a startup. What about profitability?
We are profitable right from day one. I mean, धंधा अगर पैसा नहीं कमा रहा तो धंधा थोड़ी है यार. Come on. And
You need
especially, if I don't take anything away from other founders, if you are building Swiggy, if you are
Mm,
building Uber, wherein you are
mm,
changing behavior,
mm.
then you need to burn, right? A model
Yes,
like us,
because you need that runway. Okay.
in a model like us, wherein there's a need-based product, there's a
Mm,
need, there's a
mm,
there's a validation, right?
mm,
इस बिजनेस को efficiently effectively करो यार, और बड़ा बिजनेस है. और for investors also, there all my investors are put, they are not taking exits. I'm
mm,
asking
mm,
that, मैं secondly ले लेता हूँ. They don't want to sell because they know we are building a right business. We are IPO material. 10 साल हो गए, अगले 5-6 साल में IPO चले जाएंगे. They don't want to sell,
mm,
right? And we also not in a profit. We are on a fundraising spree.
mm,
Because we are profitable.
mm,
Whenever we need extra capital, there
mm,
there are people on the cap table and around.
mm,
Where we are sufficiently capitalized
mm,
without diluting too much,
mm,
wherein we need to do things
mm.
which might not be right for the business, but investor asks you to do it.
Mm. No, no, I so much admire, especially in the current times. I admire entrepreneurs like you, who have figured out how to run profitable businesses. So you said, so it's profitable, it's lean, but it is not bootstrapped. But you maybe so help me understand your reasons for investor money. Did you take investor money for growth and not for product, right?
Right. To be honest, again, as I say, I go with the flow. We believe we don't know, we don't have a crystal ball, but we know that at we raise a first round because it was a cash flow business.
Hmm.
And any startup, they don't have credit history or any access to institutional capital.
Yeah,
So, and then of course, fancy with that startup में पैसा raise करना, and India में और globally भी होता है कि if you have not raised funds, you have not arrived.
you're right.
Right. So for that was not our reasons, right? We realized there's a cash capital, there's a cash flow we need to get in. And then the kind of investor I got, we got Mr. Munjal from Hero Honda, we got Manipal Group, we got a Bicky sir from Trade India. So we got best of the in
At what stage did you get these investors, and for what? What did you want, for growth or for expansion?
that time it was more of validation. you know it was more for cash flow, which we figured
What,
out we could
what do
have
you mean by cash flow? Cash flow is money
in
generated from the business.
in our business. If you see, a student book in April, we get paid in October. So there's a cash flow cycle in between, right? It
Okay,
will be too
why?
technical to discuss on this. We can discuss it off,
Got it. Got
but
it. Yeah.
yes, and I believe more than capital, the kind of investor got connected with us, you know probably that's the biggest advantage, because they are my go-to. I go and, Mr. Sachin Tagra from GSW Partners, right? I can reach out to him anytime, and he keep us sane, right?
Same.
We don't shy away to talk tough things,
Mm.
and you need to have a very good people who understand you, who understand your businesses,
Mm.
and that happens over a period of time. There are lots of people who come to me and say become my mentor. I'm like, उस इंडस्ट्री ना मुझे समझ है, right? ना मेरे इतना टाइम है, और मैं I do mentorship, I do angel investment and all, but either I want to learn that industry,
Got it.
right? Or I like something on that founder which I want to learn from him.
Got it.
It can't be one way,
Got it.
right? So founders, mentors are very, very important, and don't have one mentor, have at least 4 or 5 mentors
Mm.
covering different aspects. There are
Mm.
some people who are very good storyteller. There are some people who are very operationally strong. There are some who are fundraisers.
Got it.
You can learn all these things, and then networking. So as a startup, be lean, try to be profitable, or at
Mm.
least try to be break even,
Break even. Yeah.
right?
Because you
And
need, yeah, instead of being profitable, try to be break even and scale. Okay.
and also, there's another myth. when you're scaling, then people say, oh, I'm scaling, that's why I'm not profitable, we can get profit today.
Hmm.
Dude, it doesn't happen that ways,
At
right?
least in current scenario, everybody is scaling with controlled scaling without.
I'll give you my our examples, right? So we've been growing 3x year on year.
Hmm.
पेंडेमिक आया, एंटी
Hmm.
कोविड स्टोरी, पेंडेमिक आया, हाँ, पेंडेमिक में तो हमारा बिजनेस बंद था ना।
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not saying कि we figured it out as a team, right? We
Hmm.
were we were handful, because we were mitigating a race. We were not dependent on one country, one destination.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
then we are as our core is frugality, right?
Hmm.
Those frugality maybe if we are growing 3x year on year,
Hmm.
right? So we have raised under a million, I guess, so far till so far, right?
Hmm.
And the kind of numbers we are doing, we giving run for money for people who have raised 100 million and might not be doing numbers anywhere around us.
So you have only raised a million,
Under a million, yeah, so far.
and under a million, okay, because you might not need more than that. I understand because it's a very very
No, no, money is
efficient.
something. Money is something you need, whatever you want. I mean, see, the trade-off is, there were time when we need to let go. I mean, our candidate, we luckily we have not asked anyone to leave. Like there's no firing on capital and all.
Hmm.
Stability, performance is a different thing, right?
Hmm.
But the tough times when you don't have too much capital, you need to let go a candidate which you love it, which will probably help you build a better product, better technology,
Hmm.
right? But then, those are the trade-offs we need to do.
So you made an important point. You said, how do you decide how much to raise? You are saying that the more money, the more you could accomplish. Okay.
It's not you accomplish. It's about you want. It's about if you raise and you want to. It's the trade-off between time and
Equity.
capital. Time
What
and
about
capital.
time, capital, and equity? Right. So you're more.
Time and capital. Time and
Okay.
capital. Because
Uh,
see, what we have done in like 7 years, 8 years, we would have done in 3 years also, 4 years also, right?
mm, mm,
But on the flip side, let's say we would have raised lots of funds in 2018 and we were not break even, we are making loss. Then COVID
mm,
happened. We couldn't
mm,
able to, that time not many people managed to
mm,
raise more. And
mm,
then when you have raised too much, you have too many people, the numbers are not supporting you. You mostly you will not able to get second round,
mm,
and then you will go belly up.
mm,
It happened with a couple of my peer groups,
mm. So is
right?
it? Are you suggesting that have patience, be for the long run, don't be in a hurry to grow within a short period of time, or is there no such?
To its own, Ravi, to its own.
Okay.
I don't want to sound that जिन्होंने 6 6 महीने में यूनिकॉर्न बनाया है, I don't want to
Mm,
take anything away from them, and मैंने नहीं बनाया, मैं नहीं बना सकता, मेरा वो डीएनए नहीं है, right?
mm.
But we are very clear, we want to build a profitable business, we want to go to IPO, we are not in hurry, as a team we are still young,
So you're
uh,
enjoying the journey. Okay, it's
oh,
about the journey.
to the T, to the T.
So you should. So I think this is a very good philosophy. Enjoy the journey, because if you are looking for an exit, then you are becoming impatient. You are not focusing on the business.
And then you mostly end up not doing right things,
Right
and
thing.
which
Mm.
impact business and which impact so many people who are coming with you.
And also the problem with CEOs founders face is peer pressure because there's another founder who has raised lots of money, and they are scaling like anything. They are getting more media attention, and you are going slow.
No, no, Ravi. I tell you, of course, if I say I'm not this content founder, I'm very aggressive. You
Mm,
can ask my team. But being aggressive at work and have a stable peace of mind is very important for anyone, right?
mm,
And probably that's where your support system comes in. Your partners, your your founders. What kind of content you are consuming is very very important, right? So I'm very peace at my mind. That doesn't mean like if I get to know something about my peer group and a good product or something, I get paranoid. Ask me, but due to it, I firmly believe and this is true for everyone. If we able to I mean that doesn't mean that I'm implementing it every time. Many time I also get away, but don't compete with anyone, only compete with yourself. Everyone have a different journey. There's
mm,
enough for everyone, right? And Yes, I get paranoid when I get to know about my peer groups, raising funds or doing a bit. I mean, there were years when they were doing more numbers than us.
Okay. Mm.
So we get paranoid, but then we are quick to believe they have a different journey, they have a different
Mm.
DNA, right?
Mm.
They have the
Mm.
different liabilities. If
Mm.
someone has raised 10 million, let's say,
Mm.
and they are doing 5 million ARR,
Mm.
it's not successful.
Yeah, you're right.
Versus someone have raised have a expense of 1 million and they're doing 5 million business,
Right.
they are profitable.
Mm.
They are building things for long term sustainability,
Right.
right? So again, to his own, right?
Right.
They are, I mean, versus there might be some idea who they believe, oh, 6 महीने में 2 साल में पैसे उठाओ निकलो, and founders का पैसा बन जाता है. But
Mm.
95%, if a founder is raising funds and they're not going series C, B, C, D, their
Mm.
founder is not making money. They might making lots of headlines and lots of media and all awards and all, but mostly no, in the process no one make money, and no, it's wasted of a idea for me. If you are
Mm.
not going to series B, C profitably, that too profitable,
Mm. Mm.
right? Otherwise you are hiring, you are firing, you are building something, you are destroying.
Mm.
Rest it's all to, its own, right? I mean, we are still figuring
Is
out
there,
we
is there,
are
but this is not a call that the founder himself can take if you have
not a
investors,
factor. Yeah, yeah.
because investors would also want, hey, why don't you grow, take more money and grow, right? So.
Define growth. I was reading something last night. Define growth. Are you looking for sustainable growth? Are you looking this,
Mm.
or are you looking this,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
you know or for you growth is this. This is also growth, right? You can
Mm.
grow this way also, right?
Gradual, yeah. Mm.
You need to define growth firstly.
Mm.
Secondly, you need to define the stage of your company.
Mm.
What kind of company you are building? Are you building a company wherein you launch something, you hire 2,000 people, you raise lots of funds,
Mm.
you flap and whatever, right?
Mm.
And within 2 3 years you are gone. Versus, again, that's not wrong, right?
Mm.
Versus you're building something real problem,
Mm.
or creating a changing behavior,
Mm.
right? Understanding it, slogging it, right? And building a organization which is sustainable,
Mm.
is creating value for the ecosystem and creating some impact,
Mm.
right? And you can create impact being profitable. And I mean, again, there are some investors and people who come to us and say, you missed the bus, right?
Mm.
I tell them, we didn't miss the bus because we are still on the bus.
Yeah,
Journey have not come.
I'm
We
not in that race. Yeah. Mm.
again, to its own.
Got it.
You
Excellent.
also mentioned one. You also mentioned one thing. How is the trajectory of our.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, of your journey. Yes.
So I actually believe, the if you need to really grow fast, or
Mm.
I would say you need to really go far,
Mm.
right? Be like a bamboo.
Mm.
आप 4 5 6 साल पानी डाले जा रहे हैं, पता नहीं चल रहा, बट फाउंडेशन हो रही है. उसके बाद इन्फ्लेक्शन पॉइंट आता है, देन व्हेन इट्स लाइक ग्रो लाइक एनीथिंग,
Acha,
राइट?
so what are the things that are not visible, but you see a pattern that you are doing the right thing? Because the growth आई नहीं है, bamboo बना नहीं है, okay? But you know you are on the right path, क्योंकि patience lose हो जाता है अगर आपको कुछ दिखता नहीं, if you
रवि,
don't.
अगेन, लेट्स नॉट से ग्रोथ नहीं आई, राइट? 2018, you know till now we have grown 10x,
Okay.
राइट? अगर मैं 1 रुपए का बिजनेस कर रहा था
Mm.
2018 में, आई एम डूइंग टेन रुपीज बिजनेस
Mm.
प्रॉफिटेबली. देयर
Got
इज
it.
ग्रोथ,
So
यू नो
there should be
लेट्स
some growth. Okay.
सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ, राइट? और वो ग्रोथ भी कब आई? पेंडेमिक में. We have not
And,
fired anyone. We've been hiring, right? In pandemic, we grew 3x. From 1 rupee, we have gone to 3 rupee profitably in pandemic without even firing one person.
okay.
Yeah. Versus, and as we are saying, the patterns are, we know the product is coming well.
Mm.
We know the network effect is getting created.
Mm.
If I need to launch a new city country, you
Mm.
know, we might not need 3 months.
Mm.
Within probably a week, 2 week, we can launch a new city.
Mm.
Right? If I need to create a product or a feature,
Mm.
we believe, oh yes, this is needed, because the situation keep changing,
Right.
right?
Mm.
So we have all the infrastructure and everything in place, and we are launching it every quarter, every 2 weeks, we've been doing it.
Right.
So totally, I believe it's a very sustainable growth, profitably, and the company like this, at most of the time, they're always in demand. There's no dearth of capital.
Hmm.
If I need to raise capital, there's no dearth of capital, but
Hmm.
right partner is very important.
Right, strategic investor is important. Is that what you're
Very
saying?
important.
Oh,
Very, very important.
can you shed? I know we have 5 more minutes left. Could you because it's not about whoever gives you money. It's about the.
At
Can you
all.
can you elaborate the importance of the right investors and right partners?
Again, it's about getting married and then get to know, versus versus you're dating, you're living, you got all the medical test, financial test of a partner, and then getting married, right? Both approach is right, right, depend upon what is your DNA. Right, there are people I've seen, they don't get married, they are like, I need to get married to a perfect person, she or he should be medically fit, financially fit, emotionally fit, and due to which they are not getting married. They have not been married from last 5 years. They've been trying, right? I'm not saying
Com-
they're wrong.
Commitment phobia. Yeah.
Not even commitment phobia,
Hmm. Perfect.
I mean, they want
Uh,
to. No,
expectations, over expectations.
no, not even expectation or perfect. They are like, they want to de-risk as much as they can,
Hmm.
you know because they know, okay, medically ठीक है, financially ठीक है, emotionally ठीक है, pattern ठीक है, ये सब वो ठीक है, तो chances of success will be high.
Hmm.
But finding that one person, you don't know,
Hmm.
right? Similarly, raising capital, I mean, we have wish list, we need to wanted to raise from this, right? In few cases happen, in few cases it didn't happen.
No. What is your criteria for your wish list?
For me, very important that whosoever is coming on the cap table, they should understand the business,
Hmm.
right? They should have the right expectation time period. Let's say if I raise from a fund who is on their fourth or fifth year of their fund out of
Hmm.
7 year, right?
Hmm.
They only have 2 years,
Hmm.
right? And we might not be do something even if you have lots of money in 2 years, because the market is not ready. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, आप पेट्रोल आप आपको 200 मिलीलीटर से जाना है, आप उतने ही दबा सकते हो ना पैडल तो,
Hmm.
राइट? सो
Hmm.
यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट स्टेज ऑफ फंड लाइफ दे आर एट,
Hmm.
व्हाट इज दे अंडरस्टैंड योर बिजनेस मॉडल, उनके क्या रीजंस आने के,
Hmm.
राइट? बट
Hmm.
नॉट मेनी फाउंडर्स एंड स्टार्टअप एबल टू अफोर्ड दिस और मैनेज इट. मेरे लिए आसान है, अब मैं बोल सकता हूँ, अब बोल सकता हूँ
You can,
कि
yeah, exactly. Somebody who's starting up, कोई भी पैसे दे दे, पैसे ही नहीं मिल रहे. Okay, anybody who says,
अगेन ट्रेड ऑफ, आपको 18 घंटे काम करना है, वो सिर्फ 12 घंटे काम करना है।
hmm,
आपको जल्दी से फैंसी फाउंडर बनना है और
hmm,
अवार्ड अवार्ड में पैसे खर्च करने हैं, मीडिया करना है, बहुत कुछ करना है,
hmm,
वर्सेस नॉन फैंसी होके प्रोडक्ट बना लो, सब कुछ बना लो,
hmm,
एंड देन प्रॉब्ली यू एबल टू क्रिएट वैल्यू अगेन. मैं भी, इफ आई विल लाइंग इफ आई से आई डोंट गेट पैरानॉइड व्हेन आई सी, अरे यार 2 साल में इतना इतना पैसा उठा लिया, ये कर लिया, ये भी अवार्ड हो गया, ये भी हो गया, वो भी हो गया. बट mostly, if you meet that person,
hmm.
you know they will say, सौरभ तू ठीक कर रहा है यार, तू चांसेस कर पा रहा है.
Does this come from your dhanda background of your family?
Probably, as a human being, I
How
believe
can
I
you how can you insulate yourself from what is happening around you? So much pressure, because I see you as
consume
very balanced.
consume the right content.
What do you mean by content? What content you consume?
Today, right now, most of it's a content,
Yeah.
right? 12 hours we are on mobile, right?
Hmm,
So if
hmm.
I'm reading about Shark Tank, I'm reading about funding, I'm reading about this, I'll only keep out thinking about that,
I
right?
see. Hmm.
Versus if I'm reading my, my industry, I'm reading the patents, I'm meeting people who who building businesses. So your support system, your mentors, right? Your
Hmm,
mentor, your support system, the kind of content you're consuming, the
hmm.
right, the kind, and to understand the DNA of yourself is very important, right? There's
Gain
some
of
yourself. You know,
yourself. Okay.
there are some founders, who are amazing storytellers, and they have raised. I mean, they able to raise funds like this,
Hmm.
right? Pedigree hai, network hai, whatever,
What is
right?
your strength? What is your strength?
I guess my strength is build creating real value. Second, I guess I'm hardworking guy,
Hmm,
right?
hmm,
And we have time.
hmm. So
You
you're not
know,
in a hurry. Yeah,
the biggest currency is time in this world.
got it.
We all have limited time,
Yes.
right? But we say we have time because it's 10 years. Happy to spend another 20 in this market, and every year which I spend here, I'll get another opportunity. You know, booking platforms are value added is SaaS say, get into operation and buildings, buildings, and that too in a very asset light, capital less intensive way.
Got it.
You only able to get to know when you are in the industry for
In the
some.
industry. Okay, the longer you go, the more opportunities you will see, isn't it? So that's how it is. Thank you for this fascinating. It just got better in the interview. Maybe could you name some of your close competitors? Do first of all, is there a competitor in India?
Of course.
And then what are the international competitors?
Of course. So as a platform, as I started, let me play a bit politically, right? There's no competitor. The only competitor is us. That's
When you
how
started,
today also. I'm saying we don't believe in competition.
you don't believe in
I
competition. Okay.
call my competition peer groups,
Hmm.
right? There are few words which I don't like to say employee. It's look like very very bonded label like in India.
And hierarchy, yeah.
And I don't call employee, I call my team. We are not family, we are not employees, we are team members on a
Mm,
sports team member here
mm,
to win the championship battles.
mm,
We don't use competition, we say peer groups,
mm,
right? Then there are global partner peer groups like U Homes in China. They focus on Chinese speaking students. U Homes doing really well.
mm,
Then of course we are Unity Living is there.
mm,
Then there were Unilodges. I don't know if they're around or what their status. Then
mm,
student.com, again a Chinese platform, went global, raised funds. So
mm.
these are three, four platforms I would name.
So when you go to a hostel, they can have multiple partners, or they are exclusive to one player.
Very good question. So generally now even a company partners, they have consolidated. There were time when they want to work with four, five, 10 partners. Now
Mm.
they also realize like there is a platform I can't name, but there's a accommodation partner which which is based globally. We are Indian exclusive partners for them, and New Homes is China exclusive partners for them. So any booking coming from India subcontinent will go through us.
So it is. So it's still
Pure
one
best.
winner. One winner. So it's not like so. So the other your competitor or your peer group cannot go into that business because they have exclusive rights. Okay. So it is about a market grab, I think.
It's also see again that's what I'm saying. How you build strategy, you
Mm.
know, which give you moats. That moats can be for short term or medium term or long term,
Right.
right? And that's how you safeguard your trajectory.
So your mode is scale as many
Our mode
hostels.
is scale, understand your industry,
Got it.
network, the connects which we have built up, and how we have taken service industry to a tech product
And
platform.
and what is your biggest threat? What gives you paranoia?
Yeah, I believe if supply become fast, you
Mm.
know, we can grow from current stature to another 10x.
Okay.
But it's a structure change.
Okay.
Not many founder will agree or convey this on media.
Mm.
That supply will happen over a period of time. Because
Mm.
building में 2-3 साल लगते हैं, right? But to mitigate that, we have added different categories of accommodation.
नहीं ये तो अपॉर्चुनिटी हो गया थ्रेट क्या है मतलब वेयर इज योर डेंजर्स वेयर डू यू गेट स्लीपलेस नाइट ओ ये बदल गया तो इट्स अ बिग रिस्क
Yeah,
और यू
मैं generally I don't have sleepless night generally, right? And if you ask me, probably कोई student बाहर जाना बंद ही कर दे, which
बंद
is
कर
very
दो
unlikely.
विच इज वेरी
और
अनलाइकली डू
और
यू सी
पेंडेमिक
दैट
और पेंडेमिक
मोर
नहीं हुआ। पेंडेमिक में नहीं हुआ तो मुझे लगता है अगर पेंडेमिक में नहीं हुआ,
राइट
यू नो और उसके पीछे कुछ पैटर्न्स भी है। आई बीन रीडिंग दिस बुक मूव, you know I recommend every prop tech or anyone who's into student mobility or student mobility or international education. There's a book called Move. I forget the author name. It's Prakash Chandra or some Prakash, right? I just started. Amazing. How
मूव
Move.
नहीं मेरे पास मैं देख रहा हूँ बट आई डू नॉट नो इज इट एन इंडियन ऑथर और समथिंग
It's an Indian author. The Indian author.
Okay, 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 okay. Okay,
I'll share the link with you. So
sure.
anyone who's looking how immigration have changed,
Uh-huh.
so keeping that in mind, I'll
Mm-hmm.
share. I might be
I think
calling this.
Parag Khanna, I think this is the book where people are going for a better future.
Yes, yes, Parag Khanna, absolutely.
Got it, got it. Okay.
Recommend to everyone, especially who are into student mobility
Mhm.
and international students, how immigration have changed, will
Mm,
change,
mm,
right? So
right.
keeping that in mind, but सबसे बड़ी threat कि कोई student बाहर जाना ही बंद कर दे।
Mm,
Pandemic में नहीं हुआ, तो मुझे लगता नहीं कि ये होगा, right?
got
In
it.
fact, now every third person internationally, I mean, I'm moving to London. मैं publicly बोल रहा हूँ, I'm moving to London.
Mm,
After 10 years of doing okay in India, I believe now company and me need to be here to
got it.
take this company to next level. So
Got it.
immigration will keep happening.
Got it.
बेसिक नीड तो सबको रहने वाली है हाउसिंग की, कोई रोड पे तो नहीं रहेगा।
Got
हाँ,
it.
यूनिवर्सिटी लिविंग होगी ना, कोई रोड पे नहीं रहेगा।
So the patterns of accommodation might change, but everybody needs a shelter, and
Yes,
that is not going away. That is not evolving in any ways. People will not get rid. It could be short term. It could be long term, mid term. Ye
what do you
patterns.
think? What do you think? Can be a threat? Because at time, as a founders, we believe, अरे सब पता है
सब
हमें,
कुछ ठीक, सब पता है, right?
ये सब
Yeah, yeah.
पता है। You are you are also an expert. As per you, what do you think can be a threat?
No, no. So threat as in mobility. So the thing is with digitalization, if universities are coming to your homes, that is the only reason where I see. But that is far fetched. I think
No,
because
no,
if you saw the news in India, lots of
it's not
foreign
far.
universities.
It's not far fetched. Pandemic में हुआ था ना, ऑनलाइन हो गया था सब कुछ.
Or
But
if you see the
yes,
pattern, all international US universities are opening offices or
तो
opening their.
वो भी देखो, एक होता है मार्केटिंग गिमिक्स, न्यूज़ बनाना। तो ये यूसीजी का जो है, ये 10 साल पुराना मैंडेट है। कांग्रेस के टाइम से चल रहा है, यूपीए 1 से।
Uh-huh.
यूसीसी कमीशन का जो, so they have given this mandate to international universities and Indian university to go abroad or they come India to start, right?
Got
But give them framework, give them policies,
mm,
right? Introducing policies is one thing,
mm,
giving the infrastructure and legal framework is another thing.
right.
And it's good. In fact, I was speaking on a media with someone, if IIT get a chance to go to London or or New York, their brand value go well, which is good.
Mm,
People who might not able to get access to IIT, they get access to better IITs.
right.
But if Indian student कोई IIT पढ़ने गया 3 सेमेस्टर के लिए,
Mm,
चांसेस है कि वो पूरे साल 2 साल भारी पड़ेगा। ये
right.
मेरी तरफ है।
Right. Yeah.
The pie will increase, it will not
Right.
decrease, right?
Right.
And coming to the digital part, pandemic में हुआ ना,
Right.
but we are social human beings, and
Right.
we tell everyone we don't go to universities and abroad for only academics, on only degrees. It's
And
experience, exposure. I mean,
yes,
you relate to it.
yes, that is true. And also, even if okay, uh, just hypothetically speaking, even if nobody moves for education, eventually they will have to move for occupation.
Yeah.
Okay, so for eventually for occupation, and people, human beings being human beings, they would like new experiences, new
Yes.
countries, and
And
so
then
on.
we are living in a borderless
Yes,
world,
world.
Ravi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah.
I mean,
Travel booming like that is also a good trend to see that people want, and high disposable income means people want you moving to London. People want just look at the travel
you want to
boom of
upgrade,
India.
right? You want to upgrade, you want to experience new
Aspirations,
lifestyle.
human
So
aspirations. Everybody, yeah, and the world is now becoming too small. People want to go to other planets, so mobility will always be there. Excellent, Saurabh. That's a great way to end this interview. I must tell you, one of my favorite interviews because it just got better. The later conversation, first one was understanding about student housing, but the later it was about the philosophy of building businesses, growth, and I must tell you, I
this
admire a lot.
this is my flip side also. I'm a slow boomer. If you are into fundraising, you need to
Mm,
be within 2 minutes, within 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You need to like say the right things, right words, which other people want to know. But
mm,
and I have figured that out. That
mm,
I'm a slow boomer,
mm,
and it takes time for me to express myself.
mm,
But if and these are the kind of investor we look for, that who is not looking for fancy things. People
Mm,
who are looking for, businesses, profitable business, who are businesses who where they can earn exits over a period of time, but a
mm,
sustainable exit. Risk is comparatively less compared to, someone who's looking for 2, 3, 5 years.
mm,
Again, then depend on the fund philosophy, that depend
mm.
upon their need of the, of the portfolio.
Got it.
Yeah,
Excellent,
great,
sir. Thank you
lovely.
so much again. See you
I
around.